love. Yo, what is up, dudes? Alright, so today we're going to be looking at Reinhardt, who is a character from Overwatch, and I'm going to be giving you guys a detailed guide on how to use him effectively in the game. Reinhardt falls under the tank class, and he is simply a beast. He is a bulky guy. He has 5 main abilities that we're going to look at right now. So let's go. Rocket Hammer, Reinhardt's primary weapon. Pressing the primary fire button causes Reinhardt to swing the hammer, dealing damage to all enemies in a cone in front of Reinhardt. The damage from this hammer is significant, so don't be afraid to start swinging when close to an enemy. Look for opportunities where you can hit more than one enemy with a rocket hammer to maximize its effectiveness. Although this is a melee weapon, the range is greater than normal melee quick attack. Reinhardt does not have a normal quick melee attack like other heroes. Barrier Field. The barrier field is a powerful rectangular barrier that Reinhardt's carry like a shield, blocking most projectiles and bullets that hit it. It can be activated by pressing and holding down the secondary fire button. The barrier has its own separate health pool, and the barrier field is disabled if the barrier's health drops to 0. Reinhardt will regenerate lost barrier health after a few seconds of not activating barrier field. Use barrier field to block incoming attacks from your opponents. This is especially helpful for your team as you can use barrier field to let them move through a contested area without taking any damage. Try to always stay at the front of the team to keep your team safe. Keep an eye on your barrier health. If it starts to get low, look for a place to take cover so that you can let your barrier health regenerate. And since barrier field only blocks attacks from one direction, be cautious of attacks from above or behind. Charge. When activated, Reinhardt will use a rocket booster to propel himself forward. He gains significant speed but loses most of his ability to turn. Reinhardt will stop his charge after a period of time or when he collides with a solid surface, whichever comes first. The enemy Reinhardt collides with during this charge will become pinned to Reinhardt and will be dealt heavy damage if Reinhardt then impacts a solid surface, like a wall. All other enemies will be knocked away from him. Stuns, such as those from Roadhog or McCree, will immediately end charge. While it may be tempting to use charge to leap into battle, Reinhardt cannot turn well while charging, making it easy for enemies to avoid it. It's best to use charge at short or medium range where enemies have less time to fire strike. Reinhardt will hurl a flaming projectile forward that deals decent damage to any enemy it hits. This projectile passes through enemies and barriers, meaning that it can hit multiple opponents with a single use. It stops upon impacting a solid surface. Fire Strike is Reinhardt's only ranged attack and is useful for hurling down choke points to deter enemies from coming through, as well as for hitting distant stationary targets like Bastion. Ultimate Earth Shatter. This is Reinhardt's ultimate ability. Reinhardt slams his hammer into the ground, creating a cone of force that damages and stuns enemies who are hit by it. This ability respects line of sight, so anybody Reinhardt cannot see is not affected by it. Reinhardt is incredibly hardy, able to absorb the most damage out of any of the tanks, but suffers from being mostly restricted to melee attacks. As a result, Reinhardt works best as a team player. Stay at the front of your team and use your barrier field to absorb incoming attacks as you approach your opponents, allowing your team to move safely through an area and fire back without taking damage. Try to move between points to cover using barrier field instead of walking straight towards your enemies. Reinhardt may be tough, but he's not invincible. And there are 2 classes, of course, that can effectively and efficiently counter Reinhardt, and they are Symmetra and Genji. There's a very simple reason that Symmetra is good against Reinhardt. Her energy ball alternate fire goes through his shield and it does a ton of damage. If he's advancing slowly through a narrow corridor, you can spam this constantly from a safe distance, hurt him and his friends, and build a lot of ultimate charge in the process. Reinhardt can also struggle with Symmetra's sentries if they are placed cleverly, as he can struggle to reach them. Genji is also a decent option, able to quickly dash through the shield and pour on a load of damage before retreating to do it again. With Reinhardt, it's always worth remembering that forcing him to turn or change a different direction is just as good as killing him a lot of the time. If he's not able to advance while protecting his team, he's not very useful. And of course, I want to see what you guys think, what you guys want to say, what you guys have on your mind. So fill that comment box down below. I want to see what you guys have to say. I want to interact with you guys. So fill it up. Do you guys like Reinhardt? Do you not like him? I see a lot of people using him, so I think a lot of you guys do like him. And thanks for watching this detailed guide on how to use Reinhardt in Overwatch. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on my channel to see more awesome content. Bye!